announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Oh, you didn't know?
You ready? Let's go!
Are you ready? I said, are you ready? Feed me. Alright, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, or whatever time you're choosing to listen to this. My name is Vinny Apicella. I am here with the Sportswire Podcast for May 7th of 2015. That's right, you heard it right. It's a podcast for May 7th of 2015. After this past Monday and our live debut on Fat Cat Radio, quite honestly, I realized something. Obviously, it was the first time live. There were kinks in there, and you know, even though the saying goes, nothing can go wrong because you're live. Well, I realized something. Thanks to God above and showing me the things I needed to learn and the lessons I needed to learn, I did realize that I don't care so much about going live. I don't need to go live to deliver an awesome podcast that soothes the audiological senses of the listeners. So, with that being said, I'm going to start pre-recording my podcasts every week. At least one, possibly two. The reason why I'm doing the second one this week is because I don't have an interview that will be going up this week. I did do an interview yesterday with Connecticut Women's Basketball Hall of Famer Jim Bombassi. That is currently not yet edited or ready to go up yet. That's why I'm doing a second podcast this week. Okay, couple things I need to get to. Couple items of business, if you will. I've got a couple of opportunities coming up, and I wanted to promote a few different things. If you go to the SWE webpage or the SWE Facebook page. That's right, I'll finally get it out there. I've been sharing or forwarding, sharing, whatever you want to say, different events that are coming up in the state of Connecticut. Quite honestly, a lot to do with autograph signings. That's right. This month, in May, there are 3 really big autograph signings here in Connecticut. John E. Kelleher, who owns M&J Video Games and Sports Collectibles on May 31st, has announced that from 3 to 5 p.m. he will welcome this year's 2015's WWE Hall of Fame inductee, Larry Zbyszko. That's right. That will be at M&J Video Games and Sports Cards. Here we go. I'm trying to get the address here, but either way, it's on the SWE Facebook page, M&J Video Games and Collectibles, and that is at 1049 Queen Street in Southington, Connecticut. However, that is from, yes, May 31st. Also, on May 15th of this month, that's right, May 15th, that is next Friday, for all the people that are listening and paying attention to what I'm saying. On May 15th, there's also going to be an autograph signing at the same place in Southington with another WWE Hall of Famer, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. That's right. So there's a couple, there's a lot of them that are coming up, and just keep paying attention to the SWE Facebook page, because I'm going to keep promoting them, because I'm looking to get interviews with the WWE legends and Hall of Famers that he brings in. And that's, let's see, on the 15th, on May 15th. Now, see, as you can tell, I may be a little distracted, but I am also scrolling through my Facebook right now to find the actual address for all the information. There we go. There we go. May 15th, meet and greet with the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. That is also going to be at M&J Video Games and Collectibles, 1049 Queen Street, Southington, Connecticut. Also, the next day, the very next day, on May 16th, at the same place, M&J Video Games, on 1049 Queen Street, Southington, there will be 3 WWE legends. There will be the Native American Tatanka. There will be WWE Hall of Famer El Matador Tito Santana, and WWE legend Tony Atlas, who was just in WWE Legends House on WWE Network this past spring. So definitely head on out. And then the coup de grace on May 31st. This one's actually, this one's going to actually be at First Base Sports Cards and Memorabilia, 38 Center Street, Wallingford, Connecticut, May 31st from 3 to 5 p.m. WWE Hall of Famer Larry Zbyszko. So, going forward this month, a lot to do with wrestling. Also on May 23rd, Northeast Wrestling is putting on a show at Bethany, Connecticut. It's at the Bethany Town Hall, I believe. As again, I've been sharing it on the SWE website, SWE Facebook page, and it will also be up on the SWE website by the end of this week. I do have to go in and update that this week. So you have my word. By next week, everything is going to be updated, and it's going to be promoting this podcast, Fat Cat Radio, and M&J Sports Cards and Collectibles, along with First Base Sports Cards and Collectibles. All those autograph signings, all those events will be up at swe-ct.com. Okay, going forward, we've got a lot to talk about today. First off, I want to play a song for you. As you guys heard at the beginning of this episode and the beginning of Monday's live show, I re-edited and tweaked our theme song, the Sportswire theme song, and I think it's pretty good. I put it together. I mean, I love the WWE, and you could honestly hear that through the song, and I thought it was pretty creative. You know, it's got sound bites from the NWO, Chris Jericho's original countdown for the WWE, had Ryback in there, Triple H in there, New Age Outlaws, you know, the Road Dogg, oh, you didn't know, and, you know, it had a little clip of Remember the Name by Fort Minor, which I have to say is pretty sweet song. Check it out. But Jay Deuce, who's a good friend of mine, I did play another song of his during my Monday live show, and he actually did a cover or a remaker. He rapped over the Apex Predator Randy Orton's theme song from the WWE. It's called Randy Orton's song by Rev Theory is called Voices. Jay Deuce rapped over the song, over the music, and called it These Voices. I'm going to play that for you now. I want to see what your feedback is, if I should use it as a new theme song or not. I think it's pretty cool, and I'm trying to promote Jay Deuce. I will play another song of his later on in the show as well, and we'll get back with some hot topics right after this. So here's Jay Deuce with These Voices right here on the Sportswire.
I hear voices in my head, they count for me, they understand, they talk to me. Satanic voices grab my
attention, they haunting my mind. It's like a vortex of a dimension I accidentally slide into. It's official, spiritual realms exist. It's as real as pain when someone punches you with his fist. Don't think ignorance is bliss. It's not a Matrix movie. It doesn't include a Neo dude who's fast moving and looting. It doesn't end with resolutions, but starts with revelations. These words come into life as my eyes dazing, and my mind goes crazy on medication lately. Doctors is telling me I need to take it heavily, but I'd rather rely on these real words for longevity. Jump out the page and carve on narrow path I choose to walk it, while these voices tell me about a path bigger than Milwaukee. When I glance at it, it gets darker. We're walking the glory road seems a lot farther. Listen, you hear that? Death is calling. Surprised by it, I look back to see his flaming eyes. So I'm sick of this evil presence and the way it holds me. It tempts me to blaspheme against everything that's holy. I pray in moments like this and I feel like God just ignores me as these demons creep. I feel him coming for me. As these demons creep, I feel him coming for me.
Choosing your religion, all designed to keep you safe. But when rules start getting broken, you start questioning your faith. I have a voice that is my savior, hates to love and loves to hate. I have a voice that has the knowledge and the power to your fate. I hear voices crying, I see heroes dying, I taste blood that's trying, I feel tension rising. I hear voices in my head, they counsel me, they understand, they talk to me, they talk to me, they tell me things that I will do, they show me things I'm to you, they talk to me, they talk to me, they talk to me.
Alright, so that was Jay Deuce with These Voices, a cover of WWE's Apex Predator Randy Orton's theme song. Tell me what you think about it. Tweet me at SWE Connecticut. You can also surf on over to our Facebook page, facebook.com/Sportswire Entertainment, and or SWE Connecticut, either one. SWE Connecticut is my personal Facebook. Sportswire Entertainment is the one for the Sportswire. Yeah, exactly, for SWE. Okay, anyway, so let me know what you think about that. So, now I want to just let you all in on, I had mentioned a little while ago when I first started the show that I didn't have to go live every week to do an awesome podcast because, well, quite honestly, things happen. And sometimes the gremlins and the equipment, they really don't want you to go live, or just whatever the case may be. Okay? The fact is, I realize that, again, I don't necessarily have to go through and do a live show every single week. So, my live shows are going to be treated like WWE pay-per-views. That's right. So, every first Monday of the month, I've already talked to Big Lou about it, and he's cool, he's on board. Every week during the month, the other 3 weeks of the month, or 4, depending on how many weeks there are in the month, I am going to be pre-recording a podcast. At least one. Like I said, it's going to be like, I will definitely release it one Monday at 7 for y'all. Also, there should be at least one interview, if not another podcast, later on in the week. Usually on Thursday. So, and then every first Monday of the month, I will be going live on the Sportswire on Fat Cat Radio, and I will probably have a guest with me. And I'm also working on simulcasting it on YouTube, on the the SWE YouTube page, which is youtube.com/SportswireSWE. You can go there, and I'm praying, I'm hoping, I'm working on the technology. Of course, we're low budget, so we don't have ESPN technology or WWE technology, but we do have really good technology, and I'm going to be working on doing a simulcast every live show where it's not only being broadcast live on Fat Cat Radio here on Spreaker, but also live video on YouTube. So I will definitely let you all know how that goes going forward, because I'm excited at the prospect, and I really think that you will be too once you get to know what I'm all about, and once you get to know what this is all about. Okay, so there's quite a bit of news going forward, and there was actually some stuff that I didn't get to talk about on Monday because I was so concerned with the technical difficulties with the phone line not working and with the feed not going correctly, which I think I finally figured out why the feed wasn't going good, but that's for another time. The fact is we've got a lot to talk about. This past weekend we had a lot of sports. The biggest thing, and I have to say monetary-wise, was the Pacquiao-Mayweather fight on Saturday night. Okay, so let's just look financially for a second. Mayweather and Pacquiao, two of the greatest fighters in history. Number one, this fight was 6 years too late. It almost likens, let's say at WrestleMania 32 next year in Dallas, it's going to end up, it's more looking like it might be The Undertaker versus Sting as the last match for both icons, both future Hall of Famers. Again, that match is going to be about 10 years too late. Even 5 years past what their prime would be. Of course, contracts didn't work out, but whatever the case may be, it's late. Sting coming into the WWE at this late stage in 2015 is too late. But either way, I digress. Let's get back to Mayweather and Pacquiao. The match I heard, I didn't watch the match because I refused to pay $100 to watch boxing. I heard about it, and I read up on the internet, and I heard that Mayweather did a lot of dancing, that there really was no physicality. We know that Mayweather is 47-0, and the only knockout he has in his entire career came against the Big Show, and that was fixed. So he has never won by a knockout. It's always been by decision. Why, you ask? I don't know. Maybe he's got the judges in his pockets. He's got enough money to do that. I don't know. Maybe he's got the referee in his pocket. We don't know. Quite honestly, from what I've heard, and now I will be completely honest with everybody, I do not follow boxing. I've never enjoyed it. I've never thought it was fun. I've never really had the interest in boxing the same way I don't have an interest in UFC too much. I'm getting better with that, but I've never really paid attention to boxing. So the fact of Mayweather and Pacquiao fighting, now obviously being a WWE fan, knowing Mayweather performed at a WrestleMania and he was a Raw general manager at one point, or a Raw guest host, I was rooting for Mayweather. Manny Pacquiao, on the other hand, has a lot of good Christian values. He thanks God in every press conference that he has, and you can tell that boxing is not his passion, but Christ is. So that's definitely something to applaud and to look up to. So I was really torn in this match. Then come to find out afterwards, all the aftermath of this fight, that Pacquiao might have been hurt and didn't disclose it to the Nevada State Athletic Commission, and possibly could be fined or suspended or something, and and then that fight could be nullified, and well, that would just be bad for the business of boxing. First, if you look at the league of boxing as a whole, there are numerous conferences, federations, associations to do with boxing. There's the IBA, the IBF, the WBA, the IBC, the WBC. There's like numerous. Okay, which is great, but no fighters have exclusive contracts to any of these organizations. So look at Mayweather. He's got like 4 welterweight belts from 4 different conferences. So really, you got to think about it. How is there any kind of organization there? There's not. That's why there are exclusive contracts to UFC and Bellator, the 2 major MMA fighting. There's exclusive contracts to WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor, whatever you will. Maybe not Ring of Honor because they're still technically an indie, but WWE definitely in TNA coming forward. So each talent is only in one organization. In boxing, you could fight for any belt for any organization, and in my opinion, that devalues the titles, and that devalues the organizational skills because if you have 4 world heavyweight champions, and now this is back almost like back in the Monday Night War era, where you had the WWE World Heavyweight Belt, the WCW World Heavyweight Belt, and the ECW World Heavyweight Belt, and not to mention whatever's over in Japan. But it devalues World Heavyweight Championships. Look at the major team sports. Baseball, you have the World Series champions, which again, all it really covers is the U.S. and Canada. It's not really world unless you beat Japan. You have the world champions in the NFL. More on the NFL later. You have the world champions in NBA, which again is not really world champions. So how could you call yourself world champions if you're not beating the best in the world? Now, you could say that in boxing they do face the best in the world, whether it's here in the U.S. or in Canada, in Germany, down in the Caribbean, wherever. You could claim you're a world champion. But if you have 4 different belts and there's no exclusivity to who's having the belts, could that be an actual world champion? And I know I kind of switched gears in the middle of that thought, but could there actually be a world champion in boxing? Because if you have a guy who's got a fight to win the IBA World Heavyweight Champion, the WBA World Heavyweight Championship, the WBC, the, whatever. If you have one person fighting for all of those world titles, no matter what weight class, you actually do have the best fighter in the world. So, that's actually each sport should look at that. Now, obviously, you don't want to take the you don't want to extend each season by X amount of weeks or months, because after you get the World Series champion from the Major League Baseball, they then have to do a best of 7 series with the national champions from Japan, the Japanese leagues. So that would extend it another 2 months. No. But every 4 years, they have the Olympics, or they have the World Championships of sports, or World Cup, whatever the case may be. Because soccer does it right. You have the World Cup every 4 years, then you actually have a world champion. You don't necessarily need to do it every year. So, let's stick with the Olympics now. Every 4th year, you have either the Winter or the Summer Olympics. So going forward, why don't you have the Major League Baseball players take 2 weeks off for the Olympics, and actually, instead of sending amateurs out there, because the NBA has done that, and the NBA doesn't have to take time off their season, because basketball for the world is considered a summer sport, whereas here in the U.S. it's a winter sport, and they send the best of the best, and you can tell, because we blow everybody out all the time. When you have LeBron James and Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal and a who's who of the NBA, this is even better than all-star rosters, because you're taking everybody from the NBA and taking the best 12 out off of the entire NBA. There's no chance. Even with the women's basketball, you don't even have to worry about the WNBA. You could take the entire UConn Huskies women's basketball team and send them out to the Olympics, and they'll dominate. But that shows that every other country is sending amateurs, or they're sending their best, but their best doesn't necessarily stack up. I would love to add American football to the Winter Olympics. But unfortunately, with the logistics of that, you got 10 or 12 teams, and you're going to play one game a week because it's so tough on the body. Well, then you're looking at 12 weeks of Olympics, and that's definitely not best for anybody's business. So, that's a little bit on my soapbox about boxing. And I heard the match itself. Stunk. You know, I shouldn't say that. I heard differing opinions. I heard that the match itself, I heard one opinion saying that it stunk, and I heard one opinion saying that it was really good. I don't know, you decide. I didn't watch it. I won't watch it. I didn't see it. But I did hear from some people that the match, they were circling each other so much, and even though on paper it looked like a great match, the match itself was just very slow-paced, very boring, and almost likened to the Brock Lesnar-Goldberg match at WrestleMania 20, where you have, you know, the two arguably toughest guys in the WWE at the time face each other. You would think you'd have a high-impact match, but neither one of them brought their A-game, knowing that they were both leaving the next day. Their contracts had expired. Brock was going off to the NFL to try for the Minnesota Vikings, and Goldberg, his year contract had ended. So, I heard that match just stunk. If you liked it, more power to you. If not, I don't know what to tell you. So, anyways, I will switch gears now. And before we switch gears, I'm going to play a song. This is Garden of Eden by Dean Wild. We played out our last song on our last podcast. I'm just trying to give this girl some much needed airplay, get her name out there, and definitely listen to it, and buy it off iTunes or wherever it is. I know it's on SoundCloud, and support this Dean Wild. Here's the song Garden of Eden.
Garden of Eden, I'm dancing through the Garden of Eden. Garden of Eden, I'm dancing through the Garden of Eden. I'm lyrically on another level, got my dancing shoes on, but I ain't dancing with the devil. So don't go mentioning my name, boy. I'd rather sit here playing the games on my Game Boy. You know I've been on top of my game, boy. I'm just spreading the love so we can all share the same joy, yeah. It feels good, don't it? Still got a long way to go, but we came a long way from it, oh. I'm repping the South, but I'm from the North, though. Home of the Raptors, we shooting free throws. This is my Michael Jordan year, I'm on my MVP flow. Look at me go, maybe it's just my ego. I got real followers and they go wherever we go. Dude's got 1 million followers, but none in real life. Yeah, they got the views up, but that don't mean the point of view's right. Now follow me as I'm dancing through the Garden of Eden. The Garden of Eden, I'm dancing through the Garden of Eden. Yeah, the Garden of Eden, I'm dancing through the Garden of Eden.
Yeah, alright, look, so I'm dancing through the Garden of Eden. I got my shoes on, laced up, ready to go. Let's get this ball on, I'm on my ball wherever I go. In my garden, I'm the sunlight that helps nature to grow. It's only natural I blow, like the wind in the leaves. I'm so breezy, fresh lemon squeezy. Chilling in the garden where needs aren't really needed. Flaws aren't seen, cause we just focus on breathing. Like, I'm just trying to let y'all in for the first time. Please don't make me have to think twice about being nice. Come take a walk with me in the garden that I sowed. Only with the best seeds, come with me and you'll see. No Wonka, but life with me is so sweet. I'm just trying to eat and then feed. Get up on my feet and then leap. Leapfrog over obstacles, all dreams are possible. Even when you wake up, dance to the beat of life. Cause everything's gonna be alright. Take my hand and let's dance in the Garden of Eden. In the Garden of Eden. Take my hand and let's dance in the Garden of Eden. In the Garden of Eden. Take my hand and let's dance.
Alright, that was Dean Wild with Garden of Eden. I think it was a really good song. It's, I have to say this. Dean Wild contacted me before the live show on Monday and basically, asked if I could help promote her album. Excuse me. And asked if I could help promote her. And I want to know. Because what I find hilarious, what I find funny is, and I've said it before, how I'm a Christian. So many, and now that song is called Garden of Eden, and I like what Dean Wild has done, with her album, and it's on Stay Blessed record labels. But what kills me is there's some explicit lyrics in some of her music, And, it's like, how do you go from, singing about the Garden of Eden and God and blessings to being explicit? I can't understand that, but that's just me. But definitely, I'm not trying to take anything away from her. Definitely check out Dean Wild, Garden of Eden, right here on the Sportswire. All right, switching gears now into something that's really bugged me today. Now, everybody remembers back in February when the Indianapolis Colts put up a stink about the New England Patriots supposedly, and this is all supposedly, deflating balls, for Tom Brady to have a better grip. Okay, it's been called Deflategate, or as Mike and Mike would put it, shrinkage, which I thought was hilarious that they utilized that. Shrinkage trended worldwide this morning, or at least North America wide this morning. But the fact of the matter is this: the NFL actually took this seriously, which after all the criticism they've gone through in the past few months and past year about Ray Rice and everything there, they have to take just about anything seriously nowadays. And so the NFL took the Deflategate seriously, and they actually looked into it. And what kills me is they had a 246-page report come out yesterday or today about it. And, they had to research this and that, and front office managers and, athletic trainers and the people who worked in the front office and find out exactly what happened with the footballs. Okay, so here's where my problem comes in. Okay? Tom Brady, arguably future or most definitely a future Hall of Famer, arguably the best quarterback in recent times, in recent history. They asked him to turn over his text messages and his emails so that, they could do their investigation and see if he had anything to do with it. He refused. Rightly so. And here's what I'm getting at. Tom Brady is married to Giselle, who's a world-famous model. Okay? Now, does the NFL, who's not law enforcement, I will point out, does the NFL have any right to their personal emails or text messages? Absolutely not. He had, and even if, I guess the agreement was supposed to be he was going to have his lawyer look over them and then filter out what could have been and what, what could have been relevant to the Deflategate and what could have been perceived as relevant or perceived as communication between Tom Brady and the athletic directors or athletic trainers that actually handled the balls on game day and whatever the case was, or whatever. They wanted to try to incriminate Tom Brady. Now, first of all, I have a problem with the NFL coming to a specific player and saying, can I have your phone? Can I see your text messages? Or can I see your emails? It's like, okay, we're going to take your phone, we're going to set it through the state of Massachusetts criminal electronic forensics unit just to find out if you had somebody deflate footballs before the AFC Championship game. Really? Give me a break. It's like, okay, you're casting doubt on one of the biggest and best quarterbacks after, Terry Bradshaw, after Brett Favre, after Drew Bledsoe. Tom Brady is obviously the quarterback now. And, his career is just about over. But why put any doubt, any shadow on his legacy by this Deflategate? Now, if you watch the game, most of the balls were run. It really wasn't a passing game, so to speak. And I guess the whole idea is that, when they were tested before the game, they were at whatever PSI they were supposed to be, and then when they were tested at halftime, they were lower. Okay, well, couple things. If you remember, it is cold up in Foxborough. Cold and rainy. That game was raining as well. When you take, and anybody who's put a football or any inflated ball in the garage over the winter knows when you put it in there, it's not going to come back out the same way because it loses PSI. It's a natural. Now, I don't know how long before the game they tested the PSI, but when you're using a ball, okay, and you're using it all the time. Now, in the NFL, you use a different ball for each down, which is absolutely ridiculous, and each team has their own set of balls, whatever the case may be. Okay, and then this is something I never even knew about, that there's supposed to be 12.5 or 13.5 PSI of air in each ball every time. Well, apparently they came out at 10.5 PSI or whatever. Now, you tell me, out of what you just heard, because this is all the NFL is working on, that you could legitimately say that Tom Brady had a hand in making sure the balls were deflated before the AFC Championship game. I can't. I mean, there's a lot of probable cause, but there's a lot of stuff you're also guessing at. You're guessing that he has incriminating text messages or emails on his phone or whatever that says, oh, I'm texting this guy Yastrzemski or Lewis or whatever the names are. I know one was Yastrzemski because immediately you go to Carl, the old Red Sox. But, basically saying that he has incriminating evidence and because he wouldn't give up his phone. Quite honestly, I would never give up my phone unless it was law enforcement and it had a warrant to search it. Now, everybody's saying, if you don't have anything to hide, why would you give it? Well, here's the thing. If I'm Tom Brady and I'm married to a world-famous model, you don't think that people are going to be willing to give up these text messages, personal text messages and emails between the two, to TMZ? He'd be over TMZ in a half hour. And Mike said it. Mike Greenberg said the same thing. Now, here's the thing. I sure as heck wouldn't want that. If it was, it's obviously not as cut and dry as a drug test because, you can't test someone for residue of air coming out of a ball. But, and the other thing I heard, and I just heard this afternoon driving, I had to go to Best Buy. I had to return a cord, I bought a cord because I have a second monitor for my computer that's only got a VGA input, which is a basic monitor input. Unfortunately, my computer, the other output is a DVI-D, and I ordered what I thought was a DVI universal to VGA cord off BestBuy.com. I asked the Best Buy expert, because you can never tell with these things, and he said, oh yeah, it'll work for a DVI-D. I get in the mail, it's a DVI-A to VGA, so I had to take it back to Best Buy. So that's that. But I was listening in the car to Rob Dibble on 97.9 ESPN here in Connecticut, and Rob Dibble had somebody on from the Bleacher Report, and he said the same thing. It's ridiculous how they could. There's no concrete evidence on this, and I actually lost my train of thought. I had a point with that, and trying to think back. But they're shrouding the legacy in doubt of Tom Brady because of this Deflategate scandal. That's right. That's where I was going. Apparently, the NFL only has 2, or at least 2 with them for every game, PSI monitors. The gauges, and one of them being bent. That's what I was getting at. And the guy that was on there from the Bleacher Report had brought that to to the listeners' attention, and he said it himself. He finds it hard to believe that the NFL only has 2 pressure monitors, pressure gauges, and one of them being bent. So something, there needs to be something there where only the NFL takes care of the balls instead of the teams. This way, nobody's shrouded in deceit or shrouded in drama or whatever the case may be. What I'm getting at is I've heard that the NFL, Troy Vincent, who's the, one of the higher ups in the NFL. He's not the commissioner, obviously, but he's right there. And, he was former player, former head of the players' organization. and he is now reviewing this 243-page manifesto, if you will, about Deflategate, and he's got to review it. And from what I've heard, people are asking, or at least looking at, Tom Brady possibly having an 8-game suspension to start the season. Say what again? An 8-game suspension for probable? I'm sorry. I would be all over that. I would have my lawyer all over that if I was Tom Brady. There is, and I'm going to say it, going back to WWE and Vince McMahon, Steve Austin, there is no chance in hell that I would ever take that kind of a suspension for something that's just probable, or something that, I had no control over. I firmly believe that Tom Brady had absolutely no control over all these things, the deflated balls. I honestly don't think that he had anything to do with it. So why would they suspend him? Find Robert Kraft, okay? You want to get rid of it, find Robert Kraft, find the Patriots, take away a draft pick, whatever the case may be. That's fine. You don't suspend somebody based on probable cause. Because look at this. Ray Rice, or even, I'm sorry, better yet, let me put it this way. The guys that are busted for their first abuse of PEDs in the NFL are suspended 4 games. You're basically saying that by balls coming up deflated, and you don't know exactly who deflated them or how they got deflated in the first place, warrants somebody being suspended longer, double that of the first misuse of the policy of the PEDs. That's screwed up no matter how you look at it. Because, I'm sorry, first of all, you're casting down on a guy's career. Second of all, you don't have all the facts. You don't have, concrete evidence that's linking Tom Brady to these, this guy you shrumped here, these football handlers. So, you're basically saying, okay, well, we don't know what's happening, so let's just take it out on Tom Brady. No, I'm sorry. I'm not a Patriots fan. I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. And we play the Patriots in the first game of the season next year. And I would rather have a more competitive game against Tom Brady, having Ben Roethlisberger versus Tom Brady, and instead of Ben Roethlisberger versus some backup that nobody knows about because Tom Brady's suspended for something that's, as far as I see, is not his fault. Again, if you have any, anything against my opinions or any comments, you can always tweet at SWE Connecticut. Visit the Facebook page, facebook.com/Sportswire Entertainment, facebook.com/SWE Connecticut, whatever you will. There's also, an Instagram and a Pinterest and Foursquare and then whatever. You just go on there, get in touch with us somehow. Also, SWE-CT.com, because I want to hear your thoughts. I want to see what comments that you guys see. Now, there are going to be some diehard Patriot haters that want to see Tom Brady take a fall for this. I don't buy it. Even as a non-Patriots fan, I don't buy it one bit. That would be like saying, okay, well, the Seattle Mariners, they made sure that their balls were lighter because they bought specific balls that were not Major League approved, but whatever. That's an ownership problem. But let's say they wanted to, suspend King Felix for, 81 games because of it. That's asinine. That's ludicrous. It's ridiculous. I'm sorry. You don't do that to a future Hall of Famer based on probable cause and something that you can't prove. All right, I'm gonna take another song break. I'm gonna go with another band that I played on our first show on Monday, and this is Dixie Still. This is a different song. This is Share Your Secret right here on the Sportswire.
for anyone to see. And why you trying to pull the wool over me? You know I don't like it when you carry on like this. Can you be yourself for a minute, if you still know who that is? Hey now, where you gonna go when there's nowhere left to run? What if everybody knows that you're as subtle as a smoking gun? It won't matter in 100 years. Why don't you set yourself free? Come on, share your secret with me. You tell me I'm crazy, tell me something I don't know. Well, I'm telling you, baby, this dam's about to blow. I'm just trying to matter, and that's about all I can do. Should you care about the consequence before it catches up with you? Hey now, where you gonna go when there's nowhere left to run? What if everybody knows that you're as subtle as a smoking gun? It won't matter in 100 years. Why don't you set yourself free? Come on, share your secret with me. The good book, it tells us not to lie. Sometimes that's a living hell. It's like we're in the military. I don't ask and you won't tell. Gonna go when there's nowhere left to run. What if everybody knows that you're as subtle as a smoking gun? It won't matter in 100 years. Why don't you set yourself free? Come on, share your secret. Share your secret. Share your secret with me. Wait a minute, you did what? That ain't right, man.
Alright, that was a great up-and-coming country band, Dixie Still, with Share Your Secret here on the Sportswire. I like that song. I really do. I actually happen to find Dixie Still is one of the greatest local country acts that I've heard in a long time. And I'm impressed. I like the message of the song. Share your secret with me. Because in the Bible, and they mention in the song, the Bible tells us not to lie, and set ourselves free, and just an amazing. It's a great song. So definitely check out Dixie Still. I believe they're probably on SoundCloud or one of these other kind of things, maybe even on iTunes. But anyways, okay. So just to reiterate that the Sportswire will not be live every week anymore. We tried that this past week, and the gremlins and the equipment basically said no, that ain't gonna happen. The calling system didn't work, and the feed was choppy, and so I learned from my mistakes. I learned from the stuff that happened, and quite honestly, I realized that I could still deliver a kick-ass podcast every week, and record it, and then still do the interviews that I've got lined up, and if I don't have an interview for a week, I do another podcast, which is why I'm doing another podcast today. And anyway, so thank you. Thank you for listening to the Sportswire. Last week's live show is already, after only 3 days, the second listened to podcast in the Sportswire's history here on Fat Cat since I've started. Obviously, a lot of that is thanks to the listeners for the live show. And keep on going. Listen to those older interviews, especially with the one with Paul Asciante, the winningest coach in NCAA history. The coach George DeMaio, that's currently the longest, or currently the highest rated, or the most listened to podcast interview on Sportswire's page right now. But I want to thank you guys for listening to it, because, without you, this be nothing. So just to get out some other things that I'm promoting here on the Sportswire, coming up on May 15th at M&K Cards and Collectibles in Southington on 1094 Queen Street in Southington. On May 15th, that's next Friday, there will be a meet and greet autograph signing with the WWE Hall of Famer, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Also, on the 16th, that next day, at the same place in Southington, you're going to have 3 WWE legends. You're going to have the Native American Tatanka, you're going to have Tony Atlas, and WWE Hall of Famer El Matador Tito Santana on May 16th. Also on May 31st, you're going to have at First Base Sports Cards and Collectibles on Center Street in Wallingford from 3 to 5 p.m. You're going to have 2015 WWE Hall of Fame inductee, the living legend Larry Zbyszko, known for his days in the AWA, known for his under the tutelage of Bruno Sammartino, and then his great feud in the WWF with Bruno, and also known as a great color commentator on WCW Nitro. And he was big against the NWO, had some classic matches with Scott Hall, and definitely great. So go out there. That's First Base Sports Cards and Collectibles on Center Street in Wallingford, and M&K Sports Cards and Collectibles on Queen Street in Southington. Definitely check them out. And I will give you their website right now, and there will be a link on our Facebook page and everything. It's not M&K, MJ Video Games and Collectibles.com. So it's MJ Video Games and Collectibles on Queen Street in Southington. So definitely check them out, because there's going to be some great autograph signings coming up this month. And anytime somebody comes in, I will definitely let you all know when they come. Also, Northeast Wrestling is having a big event in Bethany, Connecticut, at the Town Hall on Saturday, May 23rd. I will be there trying to get some interviews again, but I'm definitely trying to get an interview with Bobby Ocean, who's a local wrestler here, and he's agreed to be on the podcast, so I definitely look forward to that. So keep it up, keep listening, keep supporting local Connecticut acts, be it bands or sports, because without the fans, the sporting events, the sporting teams are nothing. And okay, so moving on to some other stuff. I saw a report today about, posted on WrestleZone.com, where I get all my inside wrestling news. Okay, I saw posted a very disturbing graphic, a very disturbing story. A 20-year-old guy was obviously arrested, but he apparently, and he said it in his interview, so it's right there, he performed the Rock Bottom and the Last Ride, made famous obviously by The Rock and The Undertaker in the Attitude Era. He performed them on an 18-month-old child. Missed the bed. The child hit the floor hard and ended up passing away. WWE obviously put out a press release and a comment saying, they obviously don't condone any of that, let alone questioning the common sense of the idiot who did it. And they send their condolences to the mother, and we here at SWE as well send our condolences to the mother as well. Not that she's probably going to listen to this, but it takes into consideration and takes into account the stupidity of some people. I'm not going to lie. When I was growing up and I was even into my 20s, I was a huge wrestling. I still am a huge WWE wrestling fan. And I did the backyard stuff. And for those of you who followed me on public access throughout, that time on CTV in New Haven, Hamden, and West Haven, Connecticut, I did my fair share of stupidity in the backyard wrestling. I was with, I can't even remember their call letters now, but it was backyard wrestling, CHW, I believe, Connecticut Hardcore Wrestling. I was with a lot of different ones I did. And, and WWE has come out specifically and said, don't try this at home. And, think when you're a teenager or 20 years old, you've been watching it for a long time, you think that you're invincible and that you could fall, you could learn how to fall. You could learn how to do things and not get hurt. The fact is, if you're not trained as a wrestler, if you're not trained as somebody who went to wrestling school, who has developed the talent to be in the WWE or NXT or Ring of Honor or TNA or whatever, don't try this stuff at home. The backyard wrestling was big in the 90s. You saw the videos that came out, with Tylene Buck, who was Major Guns in the WCW. She was on there because she was a Playboy Playmate, and these were supposed to be hardcore, and, during the heyday of ECW. But you got to remember one thing. ECW, again, was a controlled environment. Granted, they did pull out all the stops, and it was hardcore wrestling, even worse than what was to become the WWE's Attitude Era. But, they were still trained as wrestlers. They knew how to do what they had to do. Now, these kids obviously do not. And you saw the people with pizza cutters and cheese graters and barbed wire. And, here's the thing. The WWE superstars of even far back as the 60s, 70s, 80s, okay, they are people, they're role models. Any celebrity is a role model. No matter what Charles Barkley came out and said that he's not a role model. If you're on TV, if you're in the public spotlight, you are a role model, regardless. People look up to you. I looked up to Hulk Hogan my entire life. I'm still a Hulkamaniac. Okay, the training, the prayers, the vitamins, believing in yourself. I followed his entire career. I went NWO because of, my two favorite wrestlers, Kevin Nash and Hulk Hogan, being the founding fathers of the NWO with Scott Hall. And, these are guys that I looked up to. When you're a kid and you're in school and either you're getting bullied or you just don't feel cool, you live vicariously through these wrestlers. I looked up to Diesel because at that time it was the new generation of the WWE. 94 when he had his year-long run in, as a world champion. I looked up to Diesel, Razor Ramon, Hulk Hogan. These were my idols growing up. And obviously now I look up to God above. And I look up to, Jesus Christ as my Savior. But, you still, during the Attitude Era, people lived vicariously through Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now the current day, until he quit, was, CM Punk. You fight the authority. You fight, your boss, the establishment. And people, how many people don't want to go to your job and kick your boss in the groin and give him a stunner, or go to sleep, or whatever the case may be. Nowadays, no matter how much I can't stand the guy, Daniel Bryan, even though he's hurt again and he's out again, before he got hurt, he was facing off with the authority so much. So, people live vicariously through these guys. Now, and again, there's a difference between being in a backyard wrestling and being, fighting guys your own age. You all know the risks, and whatever the case may be, no matter how stupid it may be, you're adults making, consenting, whatever, consenting to possibly be getting paralyzed or killed. When you're playing with, your girlfriend's child, who's a year and a half old. Now, I'll be honest, I've played rough with my son, going all the way back to, maybe when he was a year and a half old. And, and I'd slam him and on the bed and everything. And he'd laugh and laugh and laugh, and it's great. But there comes a time, there are certain things you just don't do. You don't do a last ride, especially if, you're going to hold him 6 feet in the air and drop him. You don't do that. You let him down nicely onto a bed or a couch or whatever. That it just doesn't condone stupidity. You have to be smart about it. And quite honestly, not everybody is smart about these things. It also goes back in the 90s. There was a case that happened, I believe, in Florida, where it was a 10-year-old and 8-year-old, 10-year-old boy and an 8-year-old girl. The 10-year-old boy did a power slam or a body slam to his 8-year-old girl, and I believe he killed her. And they were trying to blame WWE, WCW. Hulk Hogan and Shawn Michaels were subpoenaed and this and that. Give me a break. It's parenting. It's good parenting. When I watch the WWE with my son, I'm watching it with my son. I'm not telling him that it's okay to just sit there, watch it, and do these things. No, I'm explaining to him, this stuff is fixed. It's sports entertainment. It's not an actual sport. It's not a competition. The matches are predetermined, and, that's all there is to it. You don't go on and just say, oh, you know what? I happen to like Kevin Nash. I'm going to do a jackknife powerbomb on my little year-and-a-half-old kid, and he may or may not hit the bed, and it's not going to hurt him. Dude, give me a break. It just doesn't happen that way. So, I firmly support the WWE stance, and, we here at SWE as well, we give out our condolences to the mother on this, and I hope the guy learns a lesson. No matter, I wouldn't wish jail on my worst enemy. Been there, done that. I've had problems. They're publicly documented, and I'm open about what I've done, and I've done stupid stuff in the past. I wouldn't wish jail on anybody, but see, in my opinion, jail changed my life because it helped me turn my life around and learn common sense, learn how to take care of myself, and get out of the whole thing of nothing can happen to me. And it's one of those things that's very humbling. It's a very humbling experience. All right, I'm going to go to another song right now while we switch gears again. And there's a song. I've never played this guy on here. I previewed the song quickly. He's another guy that Fat Cat Radio is promoting. It's Curtis Pacheco. Sounds almost like techno music. It is almost like techno Latin. But this song is called Dos Niños, Two Babies. I haven't previewed the whole song. I apologize if it's not clean. I've been told he's pretty good to play on my show. But here's Curtis Pacheco, Dos Niños, here on the Sportswire. Alright, and that was Curtis Pacheco with Dos Niños. I didn't realize it was completely instrumental, so I apologize if I if I said it might not be clean. But regardless of the fact, Curtis Pacheco, great music. It sounds like a great song, almost like a really nice tango or something that you could dance to, or salsa. There we go. But I do want to say that it was a great song, and here at the Sportswire, like I said, the show could be just about anything, and I thank Big Lou and I thank Fat Cat Radio for, I thank Fat Cat Radio for the opportunity, for the outlet to speak my mind and to entertain and inform everybody out there, because quite honestly, that's what needs to happen. And I really do enjoy this. So I am I really do enjoy doing the podcast. And I can guarantee you that I will get better with it as the days go by, because quite honestly, it can only get better from here, if you will. Okay? And, quite honestly, with being so, upfront with what I do, and with being able to, and just, the fact of me just putting it out there that, I have technical difficulties, or, I'm still, learning the process here. It's been a great learning experience for me. I've done the internet video, I've done the public access, and right now doing this podcast, it gives me a better way to get my voice out. Now, obviously, what I've been finding is all of Fat Cat Radio stuff gets posted to YouTube on the Sportswire SWE YouTube site. But regardless, it really doesn't matter. Because we all have great shows here on Fat Cat Radio. And it's fun. We all have great shows here on Fat Cat Radio, and we want to make this grow, and we want to see, if you're interested in sponsoring us, because you know what, it's a great network. I like it. We got some great talent with Big Lou and CC in the morning. We've got Twism White Piece. We got some UK talent. We just hired a new, we just got a new indie record person. And all these are shared on the SWE Facebook page. And you can also go to the Fat Cat Radio page, which is Facebook.com/Fat Cat Radio Enterprises. And myfatcatradio.com is still being created. SWE-CT.com has to be re-updated, and it will be by the end of the week. I guarantee you that. Also, Facebook.com/Sportswire Entertainment and Facebook.com/SWE Connecticut. Twitter is @SWE Connecticut. Instagram is @SWE Connecticut. Pinterest, I believe, is the same thing, @SWE Connecticut. Foursquare is @SWE Connecticut. So, Google Plus again, as well as is Sportswire SWE. But we want to be connected to you, the listeners, because without you, there would be nothing. And I'm probably going to do an hour and a half today, maybe a little under it, because we've already gone over the 72-minute mark as I see the counter going, which has been fun. I'll definitely look forward to in the future broadcasting live Connecticut Panthers football games here on Fat Cat Radio. That's going to be great. All right, so I'm going to get to my final song of the day, and I know I just played Curtis Pacheco, but this is another J. Do song. Theory of Evolution. I played it on my last show. Definitely let us know what you think about J Deuce. He's a great hip-hop artist, and he's a great friend of mine. So here's J Deuce with Theory of Evolution.
Come with me on this journey. Yo, back for a moment. I evolved from a family poisoned with poverty, from a home poisoned with dysfunctional tendencies. I evolved from staying on my grind, no resting, while the rest will focus on how many girls they sexing. I evolved from being whack to being the opposite. People say I'm a great writer, might as well be a novelist. I evolved from problems without solutions, from a novice to an undisputed. My lyrics should be added to the Constitution. You can write what I say and make it a 28th Amendment. I evolved into a prudent adolescent. Being immune to immaturity had limited days. I'm still growing out of it like zits on your face. I evolved from the atmosphere of fear, from fist of rage to sorrowful tears, from broken-hearted relationships and moments of cheers, ready for the moment when the enemy is near. I evolved from not knowing not to knowing a little something. I took some hits along the way, so I'll make sure my tracks are thumping. Bad tendencies attached to me until I find the solution. This battle I refuse to lose it. This is the theory of my evolution. I forced through the pressure to continue my growth. I can't afford to break the God-given oath. Gotta reach my full potential without losing. Learn to be clean from my past pollution. This is the theory of my evolution. The situation, no answers, find a solution. And everything holding me back, gotta keep moving. This is the theory of my evolution. I take you on a journey every time I speak on the track, taking your mind to places near and far before I bring it back. I share my experiences so you can relate and know it. My feelings may be tangible, so you're in touch with my emotions. Powerful like a locomotive, equivalent to my motivation. Music is high release, cause it's hard to keep containing. Telling you about my setbacks so you can move forward in life. Can't afford to kick back like on the couch with the chords light. I gotta keep making moves like rolling doubles, playing Monopoly, but this ain't no game I can't let nothing stop me. Trials and tribulations raining on me, Lord, please calm the storm. Once the dust settles, will you reveal the reason why I was born? Purpose driven is how I need to be living. I need to not die until I accomplish my God-given mission. So please allow yourself to explore with me. You won't need no backpack or booster. Come with me on this journey. I forced through the pressure to continue my growth. I can't afford to break the God-given oath. Gotta reach my full potential without losing. Learn to be clean from my past pollution. This is the theory of my evolution. The situation, no answers, find a solution. And everything holding me back, gotta keep moving. This is the theory of my evolution. I forced through the pressure to continue my growth. I can't afford to break the God-given oath. Gotta reach my full potential without losing. Learn to be clean from my past pollution. This is the theory of my evolution. The situation, no answers, find a solution. And everything holding me back, gotta keep moving. This is the theory of my evolution.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. That was Theory of Evolution by J Deuce. I want to thank J Deuce for allowing me to use his music here. And I definitely recommend you go and check out his music because it's great. He's up on SoundCloud. I also share stuff on the SWE Facebook page and also on the Fat Cat Radio Facebook page. He's got a whole interview with Big Lou that was taking place a couple of weeks ago. So definitely check out J Deuce. And let me know what you think about J Deuce's song, These Voices. for my new opener possible, because I really want to. I want to get hit with the times, I guess. I like my new opening. I did it, I did it for specifically for Monday, because I had the opening theme that is now my closing theme, and that was made by Dr. J from Rent a DJ, and it was good because it helped with the when we did the web series, Internet TV, but quite honestly, I wanted something new. I wanted something hip. I wanted something with sound bites, and that's why I ended up doing what I did with, I added in the NWO thing, I added in the Jericho, and, I thought it was pretty good. But if you want me to do these voices, let me know. So, anywho, okay, now it's time for a new segment that I introduced on Monday, and, or actually beforehand, but it's time for the weird law or dumb law of the week. And this time, it comes to us from the island state of Hawaii, the 50th state of the Union. And here's a couple of them. I'm not going to go through any of the full text of the laws, because I'm sure there's stories behind some of them. But here we go. Here's two weird laws here's some dumb laws in Hawaii. First of all, in Hawaii, you will be fined for riding in the back of a passenger car without a seatbelt, obviously. However, you can ride in the bed of a pickup truck with no safety equipment. Also, all residents may be fined as a result of not owning a boat. Maybe you get from island to island if need be. And then coins are not allowed to be placed in one's ears. That's a crazy law because, a magic trick, you put the coin in the ear, whatever comes out from behind, whatever the case may be. And that's just hilarious, in my opinion, to have that as a law, that coins are not to be placed in one's ears. That's just funny. Okay. Well, I thought it was a great show today. And, I said we'd do about, a little under an hour and a half. We had some good music. Thank you for Dean Wild providing Garden of Eden. Share Your Secret by Dixie Still. Dos Niños by Curtis Pacheco. And then Theory of Evolution and These Voices by Jay Deuce. It's been a great show talking with y'all, giving you guys a little peek into my brain and what I'm thinking about. Definitely check out the MJCardsandCollectibles.com. It'll tell you more about the autograph signings coming up. On May 15th, next Friday, you get WWE Hall of Famer, the $1 Million Man, Teddy DiBiase. You also get on the 16th, you get Hall of Famer Tito Santana, along with WWE legends Tatanka and Tony Atlas. And then at Fat Cat Radio, at First Base Sports Cards and Collectibles on Center Street in Wallingford on the 31st, you get WWE Hall of Famer from the 2015 class. You get the living legend Larry Zbyszko. Definitely check them out and check out MJCardsandCollectibles.com. It's been a great show, and I look forward to doing much more here on Fat Cat Radio. Definitely check out the website, swe-ct.com. And looks like I thought we froze. But anyways, that's probably the gremlin saying that we're just about done. So I want to thank you all for listening, and we'll be back soon with more of the Sportswire. Have a good night, everybody.